Text 28. By the practice of the different parts of yoga, the impurities being destroyed, knowledge becomes effulgent up to discrimination. Now comes the practical knowledge. What we have just been speaking about is much higher. It is away above our heads, but it is the ideal. It is first necessary to obtain physical and mental control. Then the realization will become steady in that ideal. The ideal being known, what remains is to practice the method of reaching it. Text 29. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratihara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi are the 8 limbs of yoga. Text 30. Non-killing, truthfulness, non-stealing, continence and non-receiving are called yamas. A man who wants to be perfect yogi must give up the sex idea. The soul has no sex. Why should it degrade itself with sex ideas? Later on, we shall understand better why these ideas must be given up. The mind of the man who receives gifts is acting on by the mind of the giver, so the receiver is likely to become degenerated. Receiving gifts is prone to destroy the independence of the mind and make us lavish. Therefore, receive no gifts. Text 31. These, unbroken by time, place, purpose and caste rules, are universal great vows. These practices, non-killing, truthfulness, non-stealing, chastity and non-receiving, are to be practiced by every man, woman and child, by every soul, irrespective of nation, country or position. Text 32. Internal and external purification, contentment, mortification, study and worship of God are the niyamas. External purification is keeping the body pure. A dirty man will never become a yogi. There must be internal purification also, that is obtained by the virtues named in aphorism 33. Of course, internal purity is of greater value than external, but both are necessary. The external purity without internal is of no good. Text 33. To obstruct thoughts which are inimical to yoga, contrary thoughts should be brought. That is the way to practice the virtues that have been stated. For instance, when a big wave of anger has come into the mind, how are we to control that? Just by raising an opposite wave. Think of love. Sometimes a mother is very angry with her husband, and while in that state the baby comes in and she kisses the baby. The old wave dies out and the new wave rises, love for the child. That suppresses the other one. Love is opposite to anger. Similarly, when the idea of stealing comes, non-stealing should be thought of. When the idea of receiving gifts comes, replace it with a contrary thought. Text 34. The obstructions to yoga are killing, falsehood, etc., whether committed, caused or approved, either through avarice or anger or ignorance, whether slight, middling or great, and they result in infinite ignorance and misery. This is the method of thinking the contrary. If I tell a lie or cause another to tell one or approve of another doing so, it is equally sinful. If it is a very mild lie, still it is a lie. Every vicious thought will rebound. Every thought of hatred which you may have thought in a cave even is stored up and will one day come back to you with tremendous power in the form of some misery here. If you project hatred and jealousy, they will rebound on you with compound interest. No power can avert them. When once you have put them in motion, you will have to bear them. Remembering this will prevent you from doing wicked things. Text 35. Non-killing being established, in his presence all enmities cease in others. If a man gets the ideal of non-injuring others, before him even animals which are by their nature ferocious will become peaceful. The tiger and the lamb will play together before that yogi. When you have come to that state, then alone you will understand that you have become firmly established in non-injury. Text 36. By the establishment of truthfulness, the yogi gets the power of attaining for himself and others the fruits of work without the works. When this power of truth will be established with you, then even in dream you will never tell an untruth. You will be true in thought, word, and deed. Whatever you will say will be the truth. You may say to a man, be blessed, and the man will be blessed. If a man is diseased and you say to him, be thou cured, he will be cured immediately. Text 37. By the establishment of non-stealing, all wealth comes to the yogi. The more you fly from nature, the more she follows you. And if you do not care for her at all, she becomes your slave. Text 38. By the establishment of continence, energy is gained. The chaste brain has tremendous energy and gigantic willpower. Without chastity, there can be no spiritual strength. Continence gives wonderful control over mankind. The spiritual leaders of men have been very continent, and this is what gave them power. Therefore, the yogi must be continent. Text 39. When he is fixed in non-receiving, he gets the memory of past life. When a man does not receive presents, he does not become beholden to others, but remains independent and free. His mind becomes pure. With every gift, he is likely to receive the evils of the giver. If he does not receive, the mind is purified, and the first power it gets is memory of past life. Then alone the yogi becomes perfectly fixed in his ideal. He sees that he has been coming and going many times, and so he becomes determined that this time he will be free, and that he will no more come and go and be the slave of nature. Text 40. Internal and external cleanliness being established, arises disgust for one's own body and non-intercourse with others. When there is a real purification of the body, external and internal, there arises neglect of the body, and the idea of keeping it nice vanishes. A face which others call most beautiful will appear to the yogi as merely animal if there is not intelligence behind it. What the world calls a very common face, he regards as heavenly, if the spirit shines behind it. This thirst after body is the great bane of human life. So the first sign of the establishment of purity is that you do not care to think you are a body. It is only when purity comes that we get rid of the body idea.